You were here with By the Cover. Today I'll be reviewing Firestarter by Stephen King. This book was 495 pages and took me 3 days to read. I would rate this a 3 out of 10. This review may contain spoilers, so if you do not want to hear those, click off now. The synopsis. Charlie McGee has pyrokinetic abilities, the ability to start fires with her mind. When a shadowy agency known as the Shop learns about Charlie's abilities, they see her as a weapon and relentlessly pursue her. On the run with her father, who has his own lesser psychic powers, Charlie struggles to control her increasingly dangerous gift while evading capture. The story blends suspense, science fiction, and horror as it explores themes of government control, the ethics of experimentation, and the destructive potential of power, especially in the hands of a frightened child. Firestarter is a book that I found really interesting as a kid, but revisiting it as an adult gave me a completely different experience. As far as my likes with the book, there are definitely some standout moments in this book. The introduction was strong. It pulls you in quickly and sets up the stakes in a way that makes you want to keep reading. I really liked the lab experiment scenes involving Andy. I thought it was creepy and well done. One of the most iconic scenes, in my opinion, is the first encounter with the agents on the farm. Another highlight is the antagonist, Johnny Rainbird. He's easily the most compelling character in this book. You get insight into how he thinks, what drives him, and that makes him feel layered in a way that most of the other characters do not. He is a great antagonist. Towards the end of the book, there's about a 40-page stretch where the action really ramps up, and it's very exciting. That section feels focused, purposeful, and I wished more of the book had that same energy. I also did like the ending of this book. Moving into what didn't work for me, the biggest issue is the relationship between Andy and Charlie. Andy, the dad, is just frustrating. From the very beginning, he's constantly complaining about his headaches and their situation, and that never improves. It gets worse as the story goes on. Instead of feeling sympathetic towards the character, he comes across as whiny and exhausting to read. Charlie, unfortunately, isn't much better. Her dialogue constantly leans into calling him daddy over and over and over and over and over again. Some examples. Daddy, I'm scared. Make it stop, Daddy. I didn't mean to, Daddy. They're coming, Daddy. Don't let them take me, Daddy. She's portrayed as extremely fragile and overly emotional. It made it hard to connect with her character, especially given how powerful she's supposed to be. Another issue is the storytelling structure. Stephen King uses a non-linear approach to reveal that Vicky is dead before actually showing us how it happened. Then we flash back to fill in the details. He does this all the time. For me, this really undercuts the emotional impact. A linear approach would have made that moment hit a lot harder. There are also some repetitive elements that get really tiring. At the beginning of the book, Andy and Charlie catch a ride in a cab, and the cab driver uses the phrase, "Don't tell me, I'll tell you." That is a direct callback to The Stand, specifically the character of the kid. It's fun the first time, but eventually it's just word puke that serves no real purpose. And at some point, you're just repeating things to repeat things. It's wasted words. Another big downside is the Shop as an organization. Aside from Johnny Rainbird, most of the employees are very bland and forgettable, which is a problem because we spend a huge portion of this book, probably 40% of the time, with them. The story itself is very unfocused. There's a lot of material here that could have been cut. It feels like you could have removed 2/3 of this book and had a much better, tighter, and more engaging story. At its core, the premise feels very familiar. It's basically Carrie, but on the run from government agents. That idea just doesn't feel fresh, especially if you've read more of King's work. While Firestarter has some strong scenes and a great antagonist, it struggles with pacing, character development, and focus. As a kid, I found the concept really intriguing, but reading it now, the themes feel overdone, and the execution just doesn't hold up well. There's a decent story buried in here, but it's weighed down by too much filler, a dragged out plot, and not enough compelling character work. That's about it. We'll catch you later.